Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again so much for joining me. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. I took the weekend off from trading personally. I hope you did something similar. Didn't spin your wheels with this wonderful market we got right now. I'm being sarcastic, but generally speaking, I don't trade weekends very often. Extremely rare cases where you'll see me send some signals there. But quick congrats to our community members for some awesome signals and just trades in general. Got some really good traders right now. We can see AVAX gets 37% in 2 days. That's a long. Filecoin short 3 days, 58%. AVAX long 107 in 8 days. So again, awesome stuff. We even took some profits from a nice previous SEI long, which went pretty parabolic this last weekend. I'll go ahead and double check that here later too. But either way you look at it, thank you so much for the awesome feedback I've been receiving from my community. Glad it's working well for you, and it's just awesome to have you along. We got a lot of new members joining us this last weekend, so make sure you just read through our signals guide so you know specifically what to look for and how to manage your trades, because my day trades are way different than my swing trades. I really hope you can understand the difference there. Please, please, please read through that multiple times until you fully understand it. All right, so let's quickly look at some backend data here. This is Highblock Capital, basically just some liquidation levels on the back end. You can grab this information from a lot of different sources. It doesn't have to be this one, but they seem to be very good. They're affiliated with us too. If you want a discount, jump on over to our website there. But what I'm getting at is that we're looking at $15.30 as the heavy concentration of liquidation to the upside, basically implying that there's a lot more people shorting this coin than longing the coin. Does that mean the price is going to keep going down? No, just because the bias is one direction doesn't mean that can't change. But again, we are somewhat in that support range here too as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we got some longs at about 11.5. So 11.5, we can see a liquidity sweep to the downside, 15 even as a round number to the upside. Just keep in mind, $15 is much further away from the price action than this 1150 range. So wouldn't be surprised if we see the price keep going down just to continue to finish that sweep since we're so close to it. Looking at the daily time frame, let's quickly note a few key factors here. So when I looked at this last, I think on Friday, we were looking pretty bearish in the overall sense. We lost that 50-day SMA and the 20, and now we are retesting to effectively continue lower. I mean, if we look at this 0.618 fib level at 1240, we've been closing above and below that for a few days now, okay? So there's not really a lot of confirmation letting us know this 0.618 golden pocket level is going to hold. We do have the 100-day SMA as well hanging out right there, but if we do lose this level here, I think we're going to see a significant downtrend. But once again, let's quickly double check volume because this is a very important thing. This is that volume range I was talking about previously, in the sense that we have a stronger probability of $13 to $14 being a resistance level for us. So now we're below that, we can presume the price will be more likely to trend down than up. Granted, we do have larger amount of liquidity up at $15. That's protected by this volume profile, the average true range. So when this thing happens here, you see these kind of scenarios play out, it's going to take a lot of volume to get through that level now, because the mindset has shifted from $13 being a good value to $13 being a bad value. Okay, and people are thinking that, hey, if the price is going down, Bitcoin's coming back with it. I think that's probability too. Bitcoin's looking fairly bearish, minus an inverse head and shoulders on the 4 hour. Everything looks like it's going to come down. We can see here as well similar reflecting behavior. Looking at the RSIs and everything else there, we've been under 50 on the RSI for some time. Truly a bearish sign here as well. Money flow index pulling back too. And if you kind of look at the money flow index, you zoom in, so to speak, we're seeing a significant amount of volume resistance here on this level. This is exactly the reason why we closed our long position. Okay, again, we closed our long position in the red, right? That's like our second stop loss, if you will, for the month, or we closed early on that one. But you got to recognize the price is down like almost like 15%, just standard, right? So if you look at this here, from top to bottom, 15% is a rough estimate from where we closed our trade at this recent support. I'm reaffirming this and kind of reiterating this because people need to understand that taking a stop loss is actually a very good thing. Okay, we took that stop, essentially we closed before we hit stop loss, and we did that because we mitigated loss, right? The trend has shifted. We're effectively now breaking bearish for this coin. Having said that, what I'm getting at is if you don't take stop losses or set them, and you're just holding out here, hoping the price is just going to recover, you're doing it wrong. That's not the way that it's supposed to be done, okay? It takes a long time to figure that out. It took me a while. I banged my head against the wall quite a few times before I figured that out. But I can tell you 20 years later, after trading traditional markets, ETF futures, as well as crude oil, natural gas, for waking up super early to catch pre-market hours, cryptocurrency is the way to go as long as you have proper risk tolerance. And that comes with low leverage, low position sizing, and not being an idiot and putting 15 to 20 to 50% of your total portfolio in one trade. That is gambling, folks, and that is not how this works, okay? Anyways, let's not gamble and let's continue to educate ourselves. So where are we at here? Obviously, we're below the volume profile. Strong resistance there at about 1290, just say round number $13. We lost that support at 0.5 fib at 1330. What does that mean for us? Well, it doesn't mean the price is going to continue to free fall. It just implies the price is more likely to continue lower. So we can see here pretty substantially we're below all moving averages. We are also below 50 on the RSI, trending closer to 30, which commonly is a bouncing point, but it's also not ideal to be retesting that level again a second time. That does imply we could break through that and in turn continue much lower, okay? Now I don't like to short the bottom, but this is one of those scenarios here where it does kind of feel like we're going to retest this lower low here and effectively continue lower. And we have a pretty terrible pattern here that I do not like to see. This is looking pretty ugly. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, well, it's working itself into a wedge, it's gonna break up. No, that's if it derives from the downside, continues higher. When it comes from the upside, a strong likelihood of continuing lower, okay? Again, this is not great. I do not like this at all. Quickly to note here, summary, 4-hour time frame. We're looking for a second divergence on the MACD. Hasn't happened yet, but it looks like it wants to. Stochastic RSI swinging down, MFI, all this stuff is here, it's truly bearish, okay? So while we are closer to the bottom and the price could effectively hold, you could very well see a strong recovery here with a double bottom. That is a possibility. Is it a probability? No, mainly because we're below this strong amount of volume and we're not seeing a lot of volume in general, okay? Low volume provides low price. That's basically what it does. So if you're going to be considering a trade on this coin, I would recommend some some spot entries perhaps to the downside. And if so, I would say right there at about 11.15, 11.20, this next fib level would be an appropriate consideration for a long. Right now, if you were to consider shorting, maybe 6-7% profit. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen, but it's certainly looking likely. Again, if Bitcoin successfully removes its head from its ass, then we'll be fine here with ICP. You got to recognize that these coins are performing similarly. Not exactly the same, but similar, okay? So just recognize that. All right, so let's look at the hourly. We can see this, this is basically the anticipation on Friday. It did break, it didn't break that descending trend. It effectively broke bearish, so now we're in the situation here. Are we range bound? Are we going to establish higher highs and higher lows? If we look at this here, we are tentatively range bound between 1180 upwards of about 1280. Okay? So you could argue that the price is going to stay in here in this range, and if it breaks up here, it'll continue higher. If it inevitably breaks below, it'll continue lower. Okay? That's generally how it works, right? You break a channel to either direction, it'll continue in that direction in most cases. So at this point, we're not in a good shape here, right? So the truth is, I do not trust and like what we're seeing here for the upside for sure. If we can confirm this here with the cloud, we'll double check. It's not super clean, but we just broke below. We got 4 hours underneath the cloud. Actually, this is a lot clearer than it looks. Conversion lines below the baseline, lagging spans free and clear. So these are 3 out of 3 reasons why the price should continue lower. And this is confirming factors that I like to look for. Now, is this a guarantee? No, it just carries a pretty high success rate. That's all. And again, depends on who you are and how you structure the trade too. If you're trying to short down to $5, you're not going to make profit. You got to short to $5 with that being the inevitable goal, but you take a profit between now and then. That's essentially the concept. And people don't seem to understand that, and that's why we have a lot of broke traders in the market. And that's okay. The market gives and it takes. Statistically speaking, like 85 to 90% of traders are unsuccessful, and it's because they don't have the time or the focus to ensure that they're using proper risk management. That's really all it is. As soon as I figured that out, things became very consistent, okay? I'm not bragging to be like, $1 million trader. I don't do that. I trade with a large portfolio size, but I certainly don't get too crazy with it. And I just find it very unfortunate that the common denominator in trading right now is these ridiculous traders showing how awesome they are at trading when they're risking it everything all the time. It makes no sense. They're going to get destroyed at one point, and it's just inevitable. So anyways, if you're tired of that, jump on over to our trading community. CryptoCash.tech is the site, link down below. But the long story short here is I'm leaning more towards a short versus a long. These are a lot of confirming factors here, and I think that Bitcoin is struggle busting pretty hard. And with that being the case, unless Bitcoin can close above the 67.6 mark, then I think coins like this are going to continue lower because Bitcoin is just going to keep bleeding out. Again, that's kind of where we're at there for the moment. Bitcoin having a different story altogether, but I think we can presume that 67, 65, 63, 60,000 even are distinct possibilities for Bitcoin. And if so, we're going to continue to see 5 to 10% corrections from altcoins at the very least. Okay? So get on board with the fact that we're tentatively bearish, mostly with the market. And again, the price will shoot up as soon as I upload this video. That's just generally how it works. But if it doesn't, you'll know why what led to that potential consideration of a short for this coin. Okay. All right, folks. Hope you learned something. Thanks again for watching. Link down below if you want to become a better trader. Oh, also, Bitunix, they do offer ICP trading now. So if you already used my link to register, just jump on over there. You can use their exchange. If you haven't yet, no KYC or VPN exchange. We love them. You have to use my link to register, but you can be eligible for this trading competition coming up. Just make sure you hit enroll now. We need 30 members to start this contest here, kickoff on the 28th of March. Look forward to working with you either way. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one.